What is up, guys? It's Verns back again with another Supercoach video. This time it is the AFL Round 12 review. Now, look, our score doesn't look the greatest, but we're playing to different conditions right now. What I mean by that is, obviously, we scored a 17-33, went up 750 places. Doesn't look that good, but we know that we're in the dumps with our season rank overall, and we're focusing on that Supercoach Cup. And in my opinion, I made the correct decision, even if it meant that we lost more points overall. But yeah, we'll go through that in just a second. I would just appreciate all those that have tuned in and liked and subscribed for the consistent injections of Supercoach content directly into their YouTube feed. Now, what I mean by what I'm saying is we're going to jump to my team here. And for anyone that did watch last week, basically I was looking at a team where I was just going to do a double down and chill. After a bit of time, I went, you know what? We want Heaney in this team. We want Heaney in it. So I brought Heaney in, put the VC on him. Was going to be a great VC score. Would have been a great VC score. And then I was thinking about it, and it was probably 30 minutes before the game, and I was like, I don't need to bring Heaney in. At the end of the day, I'm not playing for that overall rank anymore. I'm playing for this Supercoach Cup. And I need to get out of the mindset that, yes, Heaney in is the correct play here. It's going to net me a lot of points. But what I need to focus on is I need to focus on that sort of head-to-head and how we're going to be winning the Supercoach Cup. And once I was able to actually sort of identify that and change my mental around that, I ended up, I think in my opinion, making the correct decision. I moved Heaney out of my team. Didn't get his great score, lost 185 points because of it, and that's the difference between me being 23k and 13k. I literally checked that out before with the extra 185 points, and you know what, that's cool and all, but if I end up losing the Supercoach Cup down the line because of that play, it's not worth it. And what I mean by that is, the matchup I had for that Supercoach Cup, for those that were tuning in last week, it was kind of a free win. The guy had set himself up where he was not well set up for round 11, the round 11 bye. He had a lot of people out. He ended up scoring a 16-20 or something. So basically a free win for me. And yes, netting 185 extra points would have been cool, but it didn't matter. It was irrelevant in my Supercoach Cup matchup. Where if I don't bring Heaney in, which I didn't, and then I use the money this week to get in a player that's already had their bye instead, it might be less total points overall. But what it does mean is on that Sydney bye week, I'm going to be better stacked or better positioned over in that sort of situation. So unless Heaney this week ends up being the difference maker as to why I get knocked out, Heaney versus whoever I get in, unless there's a significant enough points difference between that where I get knocked out. Let's just say Heaney goes 130, the guy I bring in goes 110, I end up losing by 13 points. The extra 20 points from Heaney would have won me the matchup. Unless that sort of happens, I think this is the correct play. And what it does mean is when we get to Heaney's bye round, we're going to have that one extra premium. And that's just going to mean that we're better set to potentially win that head-to-head. There might be somebody that got Heaney this week, and at the end of the day, got a lot of extra points, but then because they have Heaney, because I ended up with that extra premium over them in that Supercoach Cup matchup in the future, I'm able to win and move forward where they don't. So I think we made the correct decision. It was a bit hard to get around it mentally, to sacrifice points this week, to sacrifice overall, debatably, which once again, it doesn't matter considering my position, to focus on the Supercoach Cup and to better myself to be able to continue to win these head-to-head matchups going forward. So yeah, that's what happened with me this week. Overall, a lot of really poor scores. Yeah, I got Henry's 23 on field, Edwards is 19 on field, McKenna's 35 on field, Banfield's 36 is even on field. All those scores dropped out for me, which is wild. But I still got a 44 from Anderson, a 43 from Rechko, 59 from Lindsay, and yeah, look, at the end of the day, if this Supercoach matchup was in a position where I definitely needed the extra, hands on deck, I probably would have made that move for Heaney, and then, as I said, my score doesn't look that bad because I got a good VC, but I didn't, so I was able to play conservative, which I'm pretty lucky to be in a position where I didn't have to go all in this matchup. I'm able to actually hold back, be conservative, and focus on future matchups where others maybe had to pull the trigger early. So yeah, we'll set the team up. I'm just going to hit the optimize button. Where is it? Here it is. Nope. So that's all nice and set up for us now. Awesome. And we'll make some trades. So obviously Flanders got injured, which was super painful. Another, honestly, reason why I think holding Heaney back was not a bad idea because it means we can easily move Flanders instead. I could talk about my players, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of very average and mediocre scores, a lot of poor scores. Brayshaw came back with a nice score, which I love. If he can keep doing that as a pod, that would be very nice for me. But yeah, I don't think there's anything crazy on my standouts. I definitely have people like Houston and stuff that others got rid of. I'm still holding Rochelle, which I don't know about. Smith is over 400k and someone I plan on holding. It does make me feel like bad that I got rid of Murdoch because he came out with another great game, and I would have loved him in my forward line, honestly, over like a Rochelle. And I do wonder if maybe Rochelle out would have been the better option. I don't regret getting Baz though, so I think it was the correct play because otherwise I would have went with Zeret, and I don't know if he's going to be the right play at the end of the day. And if Murdoch doesn't end up a keeper, if I ended up with the correct keeper at the sacrifice of a good rookie, then it's still the correct play, I think. But that's at least how I feel. I think also this matchup this week, Baz into Adelaide is definitely the VC. He scored 170 on them last time. He is kind of a monster, so I think I want to back in Baz. But we will make the trades that I want to do, so we will be going... interesting way that my team got set up. I got a little bit lost as to where everyone was. First of all, we want to be getting one of these rucks down. The only thing is with the way I did trade last week is I do need to be able to get ZZ back down to flex so I can get him to the ruck bench. So to do that, we basically have to trade a midfielder. The way I'm looking at this is, yes, Rechko still has that 107 in his cycle, still could easily make money, but we're going to have to wait 2 weeks. And even if we wait 2 weeks, it's like, let's just say hypothetically, we wait 2 weeks, so he doesn't play this week, he plays the following week, he gets something like a 60, he makes 15k. It's probably not really worth waiting 2 weeks when they get 15k. Yeah, he's good enough to keep scoring, but I think he's just the guy we go. Unfortunately, we've had a few bad rookies, just in the sense that, like, Edwards getting this 19, Henry with this 26. There's a lot of stunted cash gens, 35 from McKenna. Banfield with 36. There's a lot of stunted cash gens where I was really confident in us being able to still kind of keep paying up for the good for the good premiums going forward. But with the stunted cash gen that we've kind of, I think, run into with some of these new rookies coming through, I do wonder if we're going to be able to just keep paying up for the big dogs the way we are. I'm going to keep playing that way because at the end of the day, I find out with 22 premiums, I don't care if they're the top tier premiums. Hopefully it's not like a 22 premiums with Jaeger being considered, with Jaeger and Rochelle being considered those premiums. Even Walsh and Brayshaw and Houston, yeah, we got 5 not really premiums in this team that I would love to flip, but we just don't have the trades with only 15 left. Because I don't think that's as simple as the sidewoods. I think some of them would require a bit of money to actually flip. But first of all, we will move Flanders out just because he is now injured for the season with the Achilles. Super sad for him, unfortunately. I think he's on track for a decent game too. We will bring in Track, who's just like a must-have in the forward line. Like, that's just super simple, super straightforward. I was always going to get Track this week. It just becomes a bit easier with, obviously, Flanders' money. So we will flip it around this way, get him on field. Then next, we do have enough money to sort of make an upgrade from here. 200k in the bank. I think I'm going to be going Lindsay just because now he's got a 116 break even. He's going to start bleeding cash, and this is assuming he gets a 71. If he comes out with, I mean, he's been pretty good, so I don't think he's going to get much worse than that, but he is going to be bleeding cash at this point. And when I look at people that have to go, he's one of the guys with money in his head. He's not someone I'm going to keep all season long. I've held him for as long as I can, but it's time for him to go. He's almost at the same price as Dan Houston. So I think, yeah, Rechko and Lindsay go out at this point. Sardis and, like, Anderson, they're still playing this week. That means they can still make more money just purely off this week, even if they go next week. You know, if at the end of the day, if I had to trade over the next 2 weeks after I have to trade Rechko and Anderson, might as well trade Rechko this week, get an extra price right out of Anderson, and even if I can milk an extra 10k out, then perfect. Now, we did see a debutant had been named as well. I don't know, break-evens don't really matter, but a debutant mid-season draft for Adelaide was named. Here we go, our boy Hugo here. So he gets to come in, and it leaves us a lot of money to basically get who we want at this point. Now, I do need to move him into defense. I need to move Isom down. We're going to move ZZ down here as well, and then he can actually switch with, like, Cherry now, which is good. What have I done? What have I done? Do I end up holding the Rechko or something? What? Did I mess up my trades? No, these are all defense only. I don't know how I messed up my trades. I definitely had this team set up previously. Let me just quickly, I'm going to reverse it all and just try and work it out again. So when we reverse it, we, as I mentioned, so Rechko goes, I'm pretty sure. Flanders goes. This means Sardis can go up. Zizi can go down. And then we can bring in Track. We can bring in the rookie. Break evens. Where is he? Rookie. Here we go. Bring him in. Okay. Oh, do I end up holding Lindsay? I think I must end up holding Lindsay. That's the only thing that makes sense in my head right now. Did I go McKenna out? Then might I go McKenna out instead to make this work? Gorn goes down here just because we want the flex there. Yeah, because no way Lindsay can go, because if Lindsay goes, then I have to bring in a defender. Sorry, I couldn't quite remember how my team was set up. Obviously, I've done all my trades and stuff, worked out my team, and then I've jumped on for this video, and I got a bit confused on what I was doing. I think this all looks correct for the most part. Henry goes there. Banfield Henry. Ugh, not the best. McKenna's the only one with really money in his head that would I really get rid of. Sorry, yeah, Banfield switches with Rochelle. Rochelle goes with McKenna. I always keep Lombard because he's got a good break even. Anderson. Yeah, McKenna was up to 42. Yeah, I do think I go early on McKenna. At the end of the day, he's got a bad roll. So, yeah, not a good roll. It sucks that he hasn't made more money. Sort of only made 100k, but it's either him or these guys with good rolls. If anything, he's more likely to lose money than the rest of them. Anderson's already shown the ceiling of 70 plus, so he could kickstart his cash gen. Sardis is clearly good. Lindsay, I'm going to hold for an extra week at this point, which is fine. Then next week he can go to Whitfield, is what the plan was. Yep, there we go. We figured it out. Just got lost there for a second. So because of that, I can get Banfield down. And no, I don't need this actually. Average. The player that I like the most is LDU. Honestly, anyone that started LDU really just, what a head start. What a leg up on the competition. Wish I started him over like a Brayshaw. Would have saved extra money as well as just better overall. He's been so consistent all year. Usually has bad floor games, but he's only had like the 70. Outside of that, the rest are acceptable, if not really, really good. So he's been insanely good. Yes, they had a very easy fixture to start, obviously, and got a lot of wins early. But then we look at their coming up fixture, and it's actually similar. The bottom four teams are right there. Even Collingwood's going to be a good matchup. I think Melbourne will be a good matchup. Like, he is so set to have a good run. His end of the season isn't great with Geelong and Sydney. The good news is Geelong probably won't be tagging him. I think James Jordan will also be going like a Sheasel or something as well. So I think he'll be consistent enough. I think, has he played Geelong or Sydney this season? Yeah, both of them, and both of them good scores. So yeah, LDU just is definitely the buy of the round. Yeah, he's definitely just the go-to here in my opinion. So I'm going to lock him in. I know a lot of people are going for Holmes, but Holmes is someone I want to try and get after the round 16 bye. I know a lot of people are going for Wilkie, but once again, I want to get these guys that have already played their buys. They've got an extra game. It's going to be better for the head-to-head, technically better for the overall as well, because they're going to have, you know, an extra game to play. Yes, Wilkie would have been good for money, just in the sense of, as I sort of mentioned, maybe we're not going to have as much money as I hoped, but I've already got so many of these questionable premiums or value premiums in my team, just in the sense of, you know, Clark, Houston, Brayshaw, Walsh, Smith, Rochelle. So I have already got so many of them that I don't want to bring in more of them. So yeah, I think this is the team, guys. I think this looks pretty good in my opinion. Obviously, the only thing that's a bit unfortunate with this setup is that Sardis and all that don't actually get on field just with this midfield setup. It does mean that and just because of the way we got our ruck set up as well. So it does mean that our best rookies are kind of stuck on the bench, and we do have to run questionable Edwards. I don't think Lombard's too questionable. I mean, overall, it's really just Lindsay, Edwards, and Lombard as sort of the 3 rookies that are left. 2 of them have good money and potentially good scoring potential. Lombard's not been as good. But this will probably be potentially his last week. I can hold him through the buys for cover, but he's also got a very good score in his cycle of this 90, which will drop out next week. So then he might be stuck at the 300. He might be ready to go at that point. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good team overall. I'm happy with where it is. We do at least get Sardis with the help of Oliver, so the little loophole there. And we can literally keep that to the last game as well. We can, have Sardis on the Sunday and then make that decision if we want Anderson on field or not. I'm going to just throw Zizi on the field for now, just as a loop option for us. I do think there's a very good chance we're going to take Baz's score. If we don't take Baz's score, it's a hard week in my opinion for captains. Charity going into the double ruck matchup, where if it was just into like Luke Jackson, I'd feel pretty comfortable, but Cox is a really good hit out ruck, so it's not the best there. Gold Coast, Brisbane, I think super hard to sort of choose. I know Brisbane have been in bad form, but I don't know if I'd be captaining anyone in this game. And the thing is, if I'm VCing, Smith, then who am I looking at? Butters in the West Coast. They have been doing some sort of double tag stuff. Could be a bit risky. But do you just back it in? I do think going into Collingwood, I think he's just going to beat Decam the way he does. They've also been running Tunstall. I think Tunstall's his name. As a tag, that's not great. Essendon to Carlton. Carlton's just been restrictive in general. For midfielders, that is. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. But as I said, I'm focused on my Supercoach Cup matchup, so honestly, it might be one of these things as well where it comes down to what my opponent does. Hopefully Smith works out and we're just good to go from the word go. We get a good score there and everything's off. But if it's not, let's sort of, maybe I'll look at my cup matchup. Maybe if I'm I'm winning my cup matchup, I'll just match his captain sort of thing. If I'm losing it, maybe we go a bit more risky sort of thing. But hopefully we can just put it on Smith and we're good to go. But look, that's the team, guys. We're going to take a quick look at the cup matchup. So just Torquay United, we've got you. Final 4,000. Yeah, we've had a very lucky run so far. Obviously no opponents and then just guys that haven't really had the best scores. So been pretty lucky so far. Obviously, looking at this isn't fair just in the sense that he hasn't adjusted his team, but he does have Callahan and Short, so he does it the one extra primo out, and he is Holden Rankin, so potentially 2 extra primos down against me. So this month, once again, might just be a good matchup for me, and we get another win. So hopefully we can. But yeah, anyway, we'll tune in next week, guys. We'll see how we go. Hopefully we can keep this cup alive. 12 trades left, 3 upgrades left, and then I want to try and maybe do some sideways stuff. Maybe, oh my gosh, I knocked that down. Oh well. Maybe we can look for a 24th, but I don't know. We'll figure that out later. Anyway, guys, till next time, peace later.